Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Collapse, a political simulator. And also, thank you for the views in the last video. I was really surprised I got that many because the game had just came out. But thank you. So, I've been playing around with the game for a little bit. That's the reason why I didn't have a video out yesterday. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. I've learned a lot about it. I still have a lot of questions about certain aspects of it, but I've been doing really well. And even though I still kind of ran into some issues about certain things, I think I do have a bit better of an understanding, so maybe I can actually do a little bit more this time around in my playthrough. Now, I have changed from the last save that I turned around and had. The last save, I was a communist in the Communist Party, and I played around with it for a little bit before things went awry, and I couldn't really do anything with it, so I went ahead and started some other playthroughs, and I've played it quite a bit, and I've had a couple different endings. Most of all, I think most of all the endings have ended up poorly, but I did last for quite a bit before things went awry, and I just don't know what happened in those cases. I think in most of those cases, it was just issues of I had too many bad things that happened to me, and I just couldn't get myself out of the modifiers and stuff. But I did have one playthrough that was going really well. I almost ended up making a dictatorship because I turned around and what was it? I turned around and it was my last communist playthrough, and I managed to basically these three areas right here. It was this one, and the capital district. I managed to turn around and get the majority of the support in those regions, and then I somehow managed to get the capital region, and I'm not sure how, but I managed to get it. And once I managed to get this district, it I had 40, I think I had 46 votes or 47 votes in the assembly. And that allowed me to pretty much do whatever I wanted to. And then right before the next election came up, I had already been doing a lot of things. I had turned around and I maxed out most of the research I had. I think it was 1997 or 1998. I had pretty much all of this. I had all of the 95 research. The military was maxed out. Education was maxed out. Internal affairs was maxed out. And yeah, I had a lot of power, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't break that last little bit in order to take over pretty much everything. But I managed to negotiate some things. So I went to the law section over here, and I came down here, and there's a lot of laws about the structure of the state and things like that, but there's also laws about the structure of the government. So I went up here. What was it? Power of authorities. I changed this. I don't know if that actually would have changed anything, but I changed it to the presidential elected by parliament situation. And then I also managed to convince one of the party members, one of the other parties, to let me have the Arcarbo law. And the Arcarbo law is straight bullshit. So the Arcarbo law is the party that wins first place in the election and at least 25% of the valid votes will receive 66% of the seats in parliament. The remaining mandates are distributed among the remaining parties according to a proportional system. Some may call such a system unequal and unfair, but only then will we be able to create a truly sovereign state with a stable political and economic course. But that's not all. I turned around and did that, but then I came down here to the election threshold. Let me see, which one is it? Percentage barrier. So I implemented a 10% election threshold. So this screwed all the other parties who were barely even scraping by to get 10% or anything like that. So in the end, it ended up being the Communist Party and the Conservative Party. And I had already put a lot of restrictions on them. They couldn't run any media. I got rid of their political action wing and everything else. But I got rid of the National Socialists. I got rid of the Socialists. I got rid of the Social Democrats. And I got rid of this party. Well, no, this party still remained because I think there's like a built-in modifier where they have to get at least a certain percentage, and they somehow managed to scrape by at the last second. But the Conservatives were pretty much the only party that was left. But unfortunately, I had so many bad modifiers that even though I had a ridiculous amount of money in the ministry budget, it just evaporated like within the blink of an eye. So I don't know exactly what happened. I think it might have been because my corruption pretty much was maxed out because of all the crap that I was doing. but I don't really know how to deal with corruption. I mean, there are some things that kind of helps with it, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if being with some of the other organizations actually help. And I don't know if these actually do anything either. Like, there doesn't seem to be a clear way of actually dealing with these organizations once they turn around and get out of hand. I thought if I turned around and I'm in the ministry section, if you go over here, the internal affairs section, I thought if I got all the way over here, I could at least get them under control, but I couldn't. And by then it was just too late. Like, literally, I turned around and got to a point to where, what was it? The Lurid Mafia, they were just straight up 100. And I couldn't do anything about it because the conservatives controlled them. So yeah, that was a big shit show. The cartels wasn't an issue. I had control of the military and I had control of the rebel army, ironically enough. I don't even know how I got control of the Club of Generals, but you know, whatever works. So, but anywho, yeah, like I said, I had some really interesting playthroughs, and there was a lot of interesting events that came up. I also didn't know about this little bastard right here. So there's this little section right here that breaks away, and I guess it's broken away now, but it's its own sovereign state. And I guess you can turn around and take back control of it. This is also something else I didn't understand either, because in my last playthrough that I was playing off camera, of course, I had the military to start producing their own weapons. I had tanks. I had new uniforms and everything. I had private militaries. I had militaries in Africa and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, I could not do anything with this. I could not do a single solitary thing with this. I tried diplomatic issues. I tried using the internal affairs, and we had a ridiculous budget, and it just didn't work. So I don't know what's the proper way to turn around and deal with that. But again, I'm working with a different playthrough this time around. And the reason why I'm choosing a different playthrough this time around is because in my last one, I ended up choosing a lot of things that kind of leaned more towards the socialist side anyway. So I felt, and I ended up working with America a lot of times as opposed to Russia. So because America has this thing that's straight up bullshit. So if you come over here to the, I think it's the CISFTA, I have no idea what that means, but they have this right here. If we force in the meeting, we can exchange help from our partners for money, increasing the progress of the current scientific development. So if you have at least 50 with the United States, you can exchange, I think it's the administration costs. And of course, I think money too. No, it's just, yeah, it's just administration points. But you can turn around and use the administration points in order to speed up the progress of your research. So, and most research takes about 20 months. So you can turn around if you have enough administrative resources and you're not doing too bad as far as the party goes or anything like that, you can pull off some ridiculous things. But again, I'm playing in sandbox mode. I'm not playing in standard or anything like that. I just wanted to try and get a feel for these things. But yeah, and also before I actually start jumping into the game, I apologize for this long intro. Last thing too, I just kind of wanted to point out there seems to be a bug, or a couple bugs at least, and it's still early access. But I was going to play on easy mode, because in easy mode, you just start off with, you know, supposedly the most power. But for whatever reason, when you start off easy mode, it starts you off with nobody in power. So with nobody in any of the ministries, you can't turn around and do anything. So yeah, it just basically kind of leaves it so where you can do rallies and stuff, but that's about it. And I don't really think the rallies do fuck all, but you know, whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the things that happen. Also, another thing I don't understand too is the media situation. It, for whatever reason, it always says you have no license. I don't know how this works. I don't know how you get a license, but yeah, it always says you have no license. But, and I think that's one of the things that has been killing me, is that I can not for the life of me figure out how you get a damn license. So, and I'm pretty sure it's just something that I'm overlooking, or maybe it is an actual bug or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't understand, because even when you go to the party section, it shows, oh God, that's in Russian. I don't know why that's in Russian. Oh, maybe it's because I'm a socialist. But anyway, if you, oh, it's back in English. Okay, whatever. But yeah, like if you go right here, it says party media enabled. So I don't know why that's bugged, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna cause me a lot of pain and sadness. So, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I can't turn around and actually do anything as far as like trying to turn around and influence certain regions, because that's the other thing I don't really understand. I mean, it seems just kind of like you have certain percentages that's baked in, and other regions aren't as successful or susceptible to getting other parties into it. And I don't know how you do it. So I'm really not sure how that works. So, and it's just going to be a lot of playing around, and a lot of it is still probably just bugs and things like that. Again, the game just came out the day before yesterday. So, anywho, let's jump into it. So, I think the first thing I want to do, I do have power, but I'm going to lose power. So, I'm just going to do these basic things, just raising this. It seems like this keeps the corruption down. It also keeps the operability up. You can do other things too. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do them right off the bat, because it doesn't seem like they really have that much of an effect on certain things. And again, I'm pretty sure they do, but it's maybe in just in a little more of a subtle way than I can actually see right now. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that for all of the ministries, so it'll keep the corruption low. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see, let's see, economy. I try to at least keep the Ministry of Defense and Internal Affairs if I can. Social development, yep. Transport. Yep. All those things. All those things. For the most part, most of the ministries work the same way, but they do. Some ministries do have some things that are a little bit different than others. So, you know, like for instance, here, this is the Foreign Investment Committee. So you can have situations where you can work with the United States or you can work with Russia. You can also try and help your own businesses and stuff like that. But and it does give you certain boosts in certain cases. But again, I don't really see where it really kind of gets in. And of course, you can use your influence to gain administrative points, and it helps. It does help in certain cases, but you know, I'm not really sure. Also, the other thing too, for the developers, if I would really recommend, if you're gonna start off in sandbox mode and you're gonna be in power, you might as well just give the person in sandbox and easy mode, you might as well just go ahead and let them have control of each area, because there's no governor in either area, in any of the areas when you start off, so you can't do anything. Like there's literally nothing you can do starting off, so you can't, you know, use your influence or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the only recommendations that I would get, just so you can turn around and at least try and have some type of, you know, baked in powers or something like that, or try and do something at least in sandbox and easy mode. As far as the other modes go, I guess just randomly distributed based off of, you know, how hard it is or whatever. Anywho, let's see what we have here. Yeah, I've already done that. I don't think there's anything else I really want to do right now. Ministry of Defense, because I don't have access to any of the higher level things, like for instance this. If I could do that, then I would turn around and use that to try and go ahead. It's already at 40. Why is it? Why is Internal Affairs already at 40? Okay. I'll go ahead and cut the corruption on. Then again, I might not cut the corruption on and then just kind of let it be like that and then let somebody else take control of it. That's also a very valid thing to turn around and do, because I've seen that actually can fuck up other parties too. Because in my last playthrough, there was a situation where, and I didn't have anything to do with that. That was before I actually got in power. But I turned around and just allowed one of the, I think it was the Ministry of Economics. Yeah. I didn't pick it because I usually just don't want anything to do with it. But there was a situation where the Social Democrats, and they were already low on power and didn't have many funds anyway, they somehow let the corruption get pretty high and the operability was pretty high as well. And they fucked up the entire budget for the ministry. So there came an event where the ruling party basically took it away from them and they put it up so where basically anyone could take control of it. And I could have done it, but I think you need like 300 administrative points. And I just said, fuck it. I don't want any part of that. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be just kind of filling my way through this. And if you have any tips or anything, please let me know, because mother of God, this is a lot. This is a lot more complicated than most of the other games, except for maybe Crisis in the Kremlin, but that's more of a budgeting thing and a world map thing. This is just, it's a lot of unseen things and stuff. So, all right. So our collaborators are the Union of Trade Unions, or most of the time as it comes up, the Union of Unions. So yeah, we can have them in the Congress. As far as our influence on them goes, I really don't know what it does outside of just in some of the higher cases, you need that in order to pull off certain events and things like that. But yeah, I haven't really seen the full, what that really does. Other than that, I guess I will give them some money to start off, so our relations will be good. And let's see, support of all classes. Yeah, I never got that at any point. I usually just stay with the middle class and the lower class. Every now and then I'll get to like maybe 10% with the upper classes, but that's about as high as I've gotten. So let me see. I don't know how this one works. It's a little bit different. Let me see. Bureaucrats. We need to simplify bureaucratic procedures to make life easier for unions. True, this only applies to large ones. An unspoken signal does not apply to small ones. Okay, I mean, I'll go ahead and do that. Let me see. By expanding limited and partial immunity to the leaders of large unions, we will allow them to act and lead without fear of pressure from any officials, bureaucrats, or bodies. If they are better, then we are better too, right? I'm sure that's probably going to lead to corruption in some form or fashion, but all right. Also, they can propose laws, and I think if they propose certain laws, it'll turn around and help as far as support for them goes. I think I'll just continue to try and promote this. That'll help me out later on, because I kind of got blindsided by the whole by the lurid mafia having so much of an impact. Okay, and let's go to trade law. So we all have 25 seats for right now, so you need a lot more people to work with, whereas before I only needed one. I only needed one party to work with. And I think I got to a point where I think the most parties I needed was 2 or 3. But once I won the second election and I actually got power back, I only needed one party to work with. So let's see. Unions. I know they're on here somewhere. Labor. All right. So the labor, state, and trade unions. Okay. So I don't really have anything to say as far as that goes. I mean, they can keep it. So I guess I could do this. Yeah, that'll be good. I'll put it forward. And that got passed. And also something else I didn't realize too. I didn't realize it until it seems like when if you just go ahead and just simulate it and just let time goes, at least once a month there's going to be a bill that's going to come up. But what I didn't also know is that you can package these. So for instance, if I wanted to say, let's say if I wanted, because this is basically what I did. Let's say if I wanted the state structure to be unitary. The only person that agrees with that is the blue guard. Yeah, they're the only ones that agree with that. So I could turn around and kind of negotiate and try and get other things. So let's say low taxes. Now that's not going to get me anything from these parties. Also, you can bribe these people too if you have enough to bribe them with. But of course you don't. And I think it's if they can be bribed for certain things. Some things I guess they just don't want to do, and you just can't bribe them. But you can package these things, and you can try and work with parties and kind of give concessions in order to try and get certain things you want. And that's very interesting. I really like the fact that you can do that, because one game I played before, political, what is it? Oh God, what's the name of it? I think it's called Power and Revolution now. But it's also a political simulator. It's very deep. It's very complicated. I remember I I bought it a long time ago, and when it was Geopolitical Simulator when it was the first one, and the selling point for that game was if you turn around and play it, the United States is the hardest country to play because you'll usually get booted in about a week. So for that one, you would turn around and lose so fast, but eventually you could kind of package things, and it was just really hard to understand. But I like the fact that you can package laws on here, and it's pretty simplified. Again, like if you want to do this, you can put that in there. And okay, you want to do non-lethal under license, you can do that, and see you have even more support. So, and then you can turn around and go down here in border control, return subsidies, and now you just lost all your support. So yeah, it's a back and forth, and I do like the fact that it's a back and forth. So I also wish there was a way, if the developers could do that, when they send bills to you, you can kind of negotiate and try and take things out, because there have been some bills that were sent to me and they were actually pretty good, but there was no way in hell I was going to turn around and pass the bill as it was. I just wanted to take certain things out and see if we can kind of work around that. But anyway, all right, let's see. Let's advance this a little bit. Get the first event. Less than a month later, the that agreement was signed, and new problems fell on the already independent republic. President Zelensky, good God. President Zulnik and Vice President Shcherbetsky left the country after the massive rallies that have engulfed the republic in the past few days. War reformers and patriots of the nation, who vowed that with the fall of communism, we would all finally live like in the West, took with them, according to some sources, several million budget funds and immigrated to Switzerland. Their well-being, of course, has improved significantly, perhaps for them in a sense that the communism promised by the Soviet government came, whatever you can say about the standard of living of citizens. The protests ended with the fact that the government of the Republic, after negotiations with strikers, agreed to transfer power before the new elections to the Provisional Republican Committee, formed from the deputies of the Supreme Soviet. The elections themselves are scheduled for May this year. So that's the first event. And we can just advance time some more. There's not a whole lot I can do right now. Again, I'm just kind of gonna have to wait and let time pass. Conservatives, they're gonna be the biggest pain in my ass. I can see that now. So I don't really know exactly what all I can do. The only thing I can really do is wait and see if I get any of these provinces, and it's looking like it's gonna be pretty tough. I might be able to get these two provinces. Yeah, I might be able to get these two provinces. I keep looking at the communist thing because I'm so used to seeing it. But yeah, I might be able to get this one, and I might be able to get this one. Yeah, I think it would be between the conservatives and me. Yeah, that looks about right. But if I can turn around and at least get one of these provinces, then I can work to trying to get more power. And then that'll help me with the classes, and then that can help me turn around and influence some of these other regions. I don't know if it didn't seem like it, but it didn't seem like if you turned around and you really kind of boosted your strength in these two areas and it gave you support with the middle class or the lower class, it really didn't seem like it gave you a whole lot of benefits. But it did help me barely eke by and get the capital. So, and I wish you could change the government to kind of do something like against that, but whatever, you know. All right, is there any other laws I can turn around and do? Maybe like, no, they don't want that to be independent. They definitely don't want free elections for judges. And I can understand that. We have a problem with that in the United States. Technically, judges aren't supposed to be, you know, a part of political parties, but yeah, we know how that goes. Oh, it's prohibited. Oh yeah, that's right. Marijuana is prohibited. So we'll do it for research purposes. Oh, we got a lot of support for this. Okay. I'm not gonna bribe them. I don't think it's necessary in this case. Put forward. And it passed. We got 2, 3, 4, 5. So 125 votes. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Or excuse me. Wait, how many parties are there? Yeah, we got 125 out of the 75. Okay, so now that we have that, maybe that'll help with that should help with the small businesses and stuff like that. So maybe that'll turn around and give me support with the low class. And the middle class, again, I'm really not sure how some of this stuff affects other areas. I just always seem to be in a perpetual situation where it was just like they hated me. The middle class always seemed to hate me, and I'm from the middle class in this particular playthrough. I'm a woman. I'm what was it? I was a hero of the middle class. I did everything kind of meek and humble and stuff like that, and I didn't do any pro Moscow stuff. But as a matter of fact, let me see what modifiers I have. So yeah, these modifiers are supposed to be what kind of influences basically what's going on. So you have the president of the United States is George W. Bush with the laissez-faire. With laissez-faire increases the favorableness of investments in the regions, the influence of the United States on the U.S., but reduces the wealth of the lower and middle class. So yeah, there's that. In the elections, the CPR can get less than 10%. Cannot get less than 10%. So yeah, the Communist Party cannot get less than 10%. I think before I had nationalist sentiment, so the nationalists couldn't get any less than 10%. Armament army, obsolete army, growth of dependence on external countries, fall of relations with the generals. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, we had nationalism on the rise. So yeah, both of those parties, that's pretty much where they're gonna stay. Now, I think if you turn around and manage to get so high and you manage to turn around and I don't think you can outright ban parties, but you can kind of basically just do so much to where they just become irrelevant. But if they don't get any seats in parliament, then I think it gets rid of these factors. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case. Energy sector, state ownership percentage 100, private ownership 0. Okay. Education, serving the motherland, growth of relations with generals. Social background, yeah, minor hero, growth of support of the middle class. So yeah, I should have middle class support. Right now it's at 0. So at least the as far as it grows, it's at 0. Okay. President of the RF is Boris Yeltsin with derision, oh, whatever that is, and more liberal. Increases the influence of the mafia in the republic, increases in corruption, and decreases in the aggressiveness of the middle and upper class. Okay, and I don't know what the aggressiveness or the what the aggressiveness means as far as this goes. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's very vague. I don't. It doesn't really tell you what it does. So I would assume that's just like how angry they are about certain policies, but it didn't really affect certain things. Okay, so now here we go. I don't even know what I did, and they don't like me. The European Economic Union at the end of the previous year announced the launch of the CIS Technical Assistance Program, which provides assistance to accelerate the process of economic reform in the post-Soviet countries. European grants are transferred in the form of consultations, referral of expert groups, research and training by creating a legal and regulatory framework, pilot projects. Today, the European Parliament called on the government of the Republic to join. Okay, I mean, I might do that. I should probably go ahead and do some diplomacy. As a matter of fact, I am the Prime Minister after all. The President, whatever the title is. Let's see. So what do we got here? Where is it at? None of these have been formed yet. Yeah, here we go. And sure, I will go ahead and join that. I think I will stay more into the United States block because, again, they were a lot more helpful. Let me see. Yeah, let's get some loans too already. Our state budget is fine. Like, we're doing really good as far as state budget goes. I don't want to go so far as to have bases and stuff yet because that pisses off Russia, and that can be an entirely different can of worms that I don't want to deal with right now. So, at least not yet. Let's go ahead and visit them a little bit. Trying to get some influence with them. I wish there was some ways you could turn around and do deals and not have to turn around and lose, with both of them, because it kind of creates an imbalance eventually. And I did do that once, but it's pretty hard to turn around and do that. So, all right. Y'all have any things I could join? You don't? You do not. Okay. All right. The generals have 29%. The Lord Mafia has 16. Good God. Okay. Patriotic Church, 34%, and we're sitting at 16% right now. Okay. And let me go ahead and do something about my party because they are kind of, yeah, it's not a whole lot of unity right now. So yeah, normally what I do is just if I have some money, I just go ahead and drop some in the bank, and that pretty much boosts it up. I think 20 pretty much gets you about 20 as far as the party unity goes. So you can literally just pull off some ridiculous stuff, and then as long as you got 20 as far as the party budget goes, then you're fine. All right. Communists have the rebel army. And research, can we do anything right now? Yeah, I'll do the RSS. Actually, no, do the social tech, because I think the social tech opens up the media, and that can really be helpful later on. So yeah. Okay, and also I think I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to boost relations with the United States so I can go ahead and tap into the research, and hopefully I can get that boost right before the election, which can kind of help me out. Let me see, where is it? Diplomacy and yeah, laboratory. All right, so come over here. Oh, I can't do it. I gotta have a partnership, damn it. And it hasn't been created yet. Damn it. I think it's not created until a little bit later on. So yeah, I can't do it. Not yet. The only other way I could do it is, oh, okay, they don't exist either yet. I was about to say, if I just gave them a base, I could do it, but... And yeah, we're not in poverty, so can't turn around and do that either. Oh well. C'est la vie. Actually... can my friends in the Union of Unions help me out? Let's see. We have to have 50 influence on them, so can't do it just yet. They can give us some recruits. Let's see. What else can we do? Congress, hold joint session. That just gives us more relation. Okay, let's give them some money. And promote the cause a little bit. All right. The current system is rotten and does not correspond. Oh, okay, this is the conspiracy and all that stuff. Okay. Okay, so I think my influence on them is at 27. Yeah, it was different for the communists. The communists had one that was kind of clearly in order to help with the influence of them. I'm not really sure which one is which for this one. Oh, okay, it's the Congress. Okay. All right, and one more time. Okay. So now they can... Is that enough? Okay, it must not be enough yet. I think that says 77, but I'm not sure. But let me go over here to my party and give them some money so they'll get off my ass. Okay. Yep, you're all happy again. Great. Okay. And I guess we can do some rallies to see if we can kind of influence certain things. Who needs to be attacked? The conservatives are the closest ones to actually winning these two things. But then again, over here, it's the People's Nationals. Let's see. Not so much over here. But the communists do have a big share on both. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and attack the communists. Even though, technically, they would be our allies. Yeah, actually, let me not do that. I'm going to go ahead and attack the conservatives. Instead, I don't know if it necessarily matters, but I also thought it was kind of funny. Is this not Dmitry, what is his name? Dmitry Medvedev? I think that's Dmitry Medvedev. But maybe with a little embellishment to make it not Dmitry Medvedev. Comrade Chairman, I suppose the time has come to settle scores with your political opponents. We will have to allocate a certain amount of party resources to direct the people's anger against one of the 6 parliamentary parties. Our administration claims that it will be possible to keep the protest wave only until the beginning of next month. Also, if we put pressure on our common enemies in this way, then we will be able to blackmail them and get dirt on their deputies in parliament. All right, and now you can choose which one you want to turn around and send people against. It seems to be a bug when I was playing in the communist playthrough because you could not find the conservatives because the conservatives were ironically the communist party on there. I don't know how that worked out, but whatever. Okay, again, typos and such. All right, Comrade Chairman, you can rest assured that your enemies will fall before your knees asking for your mercy. Preparations for the protests are in full swing. Mass rallies take place near the... I did not say the CPR, Jesus. Okay, mass rallies took place near the headquarters of the CPR in the Eastern region today. The protesters chanted slogans, CPR, the party of the enemies of the people, CPR, the shame of the republic, and also demanded that the party leader be immediately handed over to the People's Court. Having failed to make any concessions, the protesters tried to take the headquarters by storm, but were quickly driven out by the arriving militia. Nevertheless, the ardent ill-wishers of the CPR promised to come back and get justice. Some political scientists suggest that persecution began on the CPR and customers should be looked for in the highest political establishments of other parties. So yeah, there's that. Now, I do call bullshit because when that happens to me, I lose a lot of support. When it happens to them, nothing. So, anywho. Alright, and speak of the freaking devil, and who was behind it? The conservatives. See, I knew I should attack the conservatives. And... okay, so they had some issues as well. Alright, so let me go ahead and... how did that affect me? It didn't affect me... as far as I can see, it didn't affect me. I still might be able to pull this off. Possibly. Not sure yet. Over here, I don't know. I think that's pretty even. It's real close. Can I do that again? Or can I do it only like once a month? I'm not sure how that actually goes. Okay. Advance it. Yeah, I think you can only do it like once a month, but I'm not particularly sure. Let's see how it goes. Today, the Supreme Council of Republic has ratified the agreement, thereby securing the country's independent status. The name of the state was also changed. The Soviet Socialist Republic became the Republic. All right. The last few days in the Eastern region, there have been rallies against the CPR. Nobody remembers what exactly was the formal reason for the protest, but their consequences are truly colossal. In addition to the smashed windows of the Eastern region headquarters and the injured activists, the protesters looted several shops and groceries, and several people were injured. However, it is already obvious that the protests have begun to fade away, and at the beginning of this month, it is already felt that they have practically disappeared. Alright, let's try this again. Now, again, conservatives. Let's do the conservatives. Son of a bitch. Okay, so I guess the conservatives are the communists this time around. Whatever. Alright. Either way, did that help? Did that help? It does seem like they lost a little bit of support there. Now, here they didn't lose that much support, and it's still pretty close. Yeah, it seemed like they lost some support there. What about anywhere else? I think they were already in bad shape there. Conservatives always seem to have a pretty good amount of support here, as well as the Blue Guard. Let's see. And, if I attack the Blue Guard, maybe I can get some support here. I'm not sure, though. Alright, what can I do for the party? Oh yeah, also, you have the different wings of the party. again, I'm not sure exactly what this does, but I do know that you can strengthen the party. Now that one of the factions is strong, we can strengthen the unity of our party and strengthen its centralization. Current level is 0 out of 2, not centralized, party budget -5, influence of any wing. So if you get either one of these wings to 100, you can then turn around and try and strengthen the party. But it does have some effects, because when I did it with the communists, it affected my relationship with Europe because I chose the revolutionary wing, and the revolutionary wing did not like the European wing. And you can kind of keep it unified to a degree, but I think once you go to the second level, you have to make a decision. And if you choose the revolutionary wing, I think it pretty much expels the European communist wing, if you want to say, which makes you lose relationship with Europe and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try the Euro socialist this time around, because that's what style of government I'm going to try and go for. So, oh yeah, you have to wait till the first election. Okay, all right. But yeah, I'm not sure why this is still no license. It just baffles me. So, all right. Not gonna do anything illegal yet, because there's not a whole lot of legal things that I think would actually work. Oh, I need to actually get the wing though. And let me go ahead, exclude somebody. So when you turn around and do illegal actions, they I don't know what's the actual effect of them, but I'm assuming that somewhere down the line this could cause problems, and I'm pretty sure they could probably blackmail you or something like that. So, oh shit. Oh, we need recruits. All right. Okay. So, but yeah, I don't know what the actual consequences for having unconstitutional actions. I'm also guessing that if any of the other factions get a hold to the prime ministers, um, to the prime minister spot, they can have an impeachment trial. The current president of the republic has committed many illegal acts, so maybe it's time to organize an impeachment. So yeah, I'm guessing if you turn around and you have unconstitutional things or something like that, then they can fuck you up like that. So yeah. It's already been 42 minutes. Jesus Christ. And nothing. The last few days, okay, all right, that's just talking about that. Cool. All right. Blue Guard is dealing with mass protests as well. Okay, now let me actually try and attack the conservatives. I have found that I spend most of my time actually not doing any legislative things. I just spend most of my time doing crooked stuff. And again, that's normally how I play stuff like this. Let's see. Rallies. I'm gonna be so mad if I choose the communists and then they're still, and then it's actually communist. Today in Alma-Ata, the chairman of the parliaments of the Republic of Armenia, the Republic of Belarus, the Republic of Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, the Russian Federation, the Republic of Tajikistan, and the Republic of Uzbekistan signed an agreement on the establishment of the Interparliamentary Assembly of the CIS. The organization is conceived as a consultative institution to discuss various political and socio-economic problems, aspects of parliamentary cooperation, and other issues of common interest. One of the main tasks of the CIS Interparliamentary Assembly should be the development of recommendatory legislative acts for use in the national laws of participating countries. Okay, so that's another organization we can turn around and join. Let's see. Where art thou? You were just made. Where art thou? Assembly. Oh, okay, yeah, right here. MFA budget, full budget. So I need a full Ministry of Foreign Affairs budget. And currently, right now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is at 294. Okay. Don't know why. And also, I don't understand why right before an election, yeah, the ministry budgets just seem to evaporate for some odd reason, and afterwards they do. But whatever. The next parliamentary election should be held very soon, of course. The competition will be huge, so every party wants to appear in the best possible way before the voters. And what could be better for the crowd than making many promises to lift the country from its knees? The season of endless pre-election speeches and debates is declared open. All right, our goal for this time is going to be, so far, well, we do need to work on welfare, but it's going to be our priority is the creation of a developed healthcare system. All right, let's go ahead and get this slaughtering. All right, inaccessible and poor quality medicine in the country that until recently was ahead of the rest in this field is a black spot on the reputation of our state's policy. The collapse in medicine needs to be put to an end once and for all. And this is the priority task of our party, said the leader of the SRP at the party's election Congress. Delegates of the Congress enthusiastically accepted the chairman's speech. The audience was greeted with applause. Citizens perceived his speech as follows. The speech of the leader of the one appealed to the most vulnerable part of our citizens, the working class. I do find it odd that it said he because it's actually a she, but whatever. I don't know. I think also the who's ever in charge of the party, it shifts. So sometimes it'll be one person and other times it'll be another person. Damn it. I only got one of those areas. The Conservative Party got one. They got the other region. Shit. Normally I get 2 regions, but I can work with that. I think I can work with that. So, anywho, the Conservative Party, they won the presidency. In the Western region, the Blue Guard is in the lead. In the capital, the Liberal Republican Party is in the lead. In the industrial region, the Conservative Republicans win. Having overtaken all competitors, they won in the East as well. And we won in the South, so we have that regions. We have 14%, so we have 14 seats. And the Conservative Party has 19. So everything is still pretty divided, and we can use that to our advantage later on. So go ahead and proceed. The next thing we'll have to do is actually determining who gets what in Parliament. So proceed. So once the elections are actually done, this screen comes up. And basically this screen is to determine which ministries are given to which party. So, but it's a little different. So it goes by rounds. And of course, whoever wins the election has the who actually wins the presidency has the most votes, but everyone else still gets votes too, so you can still pull off some interesting things. So you could actually have a situation where you could win the presidency and not have any of these, if you want to turn around and do that. Now what that would do to the economy and to the government, not sure, because you couldn't do anything as far as the ministries go, and they could definitely do things to you. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I have 236 points. So I can get any of these, or I can wait and I can try and get things up here. Interesting. I think I want the Ministry of Education if I can get it. So yeah, let's get the Ministry of Education. Okay, so the Conservative Party got the Ministry of Transport, the Communist Party took Public Relations, then the Nationalist Party took the Foreign Investments Committee, and the Blue Guard, they took the Ministry of Social Development. Okay, next turn. Yeah, and it goes in a turn system. So you wait, and then more points are allocated. Now they have enough in order to get the Prime Ministership, and they're probably going to take the Prime Ministership. Let's see, what are we gonna get? Now we can get the Constitutional Commission, or we can turn around and wait and try and see if we can get one of these. But the likelihood of that happening is pretty low. Well, because we're all gonna get these points. So they're gonna have 200 points. The Communist Party is gonna have 200 points. The Conservatives are probably gonna have 200 points too. Yeah, everybody's gonna have 200 points. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Constitutional Commission. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can do stuff with the election with the Constitutional Commission. So yeah, we'll take that. All right. The communists are waiting. Don't know why they're waiting, but all right. All right, so we have 176 points. We can't do anything because we don't have. We need at least 300 points, and it looks like the Nationalists are gonna go ahead and get one of these seats at least. And the Blue Guard. All right, we have 297. Shite. Okay, so we can get one more thing. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the Ministry of Defense. Okay, so now we have money, money, money. Money we have to deal with. Okay, this might not have been a good idea because we don't have a whole lot of money. Okay, so in total, yeah, we might not have enough to pull this off. I probably shouldn't have done this. Let's see. I do want to get the Ministry of Education because they have the media thing. So let me go ahead and fully deal with them. Let's see. And the Ministry of Defense. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be rough. Ministry of Defense is real useful. I really regret doing this now. Okay. Yeah, even the nationalists, they're kind of screwed right now because they put everything into foreign affairs, but then they couldn't really afford to do anything with the Foreign Investment Committee, which isn't a really big deal right now, but yeah. Okay, so let me actually decrease this a bit. Let me fully fund them. Okay. And the Constitutional Committee, sure. Give them 85 or so. Yeah, that's just gonna have to work. And now you can use your party funds in order to put those into different ministries in order to help, but that's just gonna have to work for right now. All right, recently general elections were held in a republic. The mandates in parliaments have been distributed. The government has been formed in this regard. Well-known Republican economists and political scientists assess the country's development prospects for the next 4 years. Liberal journalist Natan Evropkov on the prospects for the work of the Prime Minister's administration. It is still too early to judge the efficiency of the Prime Minister's administration, but it's already realized that the people surrounding the Prime Minister are Delantes, recruiting almost from the street. You should not expect breakthrough decisions from them maintaining the status quo. These are always pretty much going to be the same. It basically is what they're going to say is determined on how much money you put into the budget. So if it's not enough, yeah, they're going to flame you for it. Republican politician and anti-corruption fighter Yevgeny Kardashev on financing the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Judging by the published budget of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we can assert the reform of the Ministry of Internal Affairs will continue, and the reorganized Republican militia will become on par with the European law enforcement officers. So that's mean it's good. Let's see. Ex-Foreign Ministry Gennady Lesolev on the current situation in the ministry. The Republican Foreign Ministry is moving in the right direction. Recently, there has been a tendency for the growth of qualified specialists ready for constructive work with our foreign partners. If everything goes on like this, then I can say with confidence that my life has been worth living. All right, General Koreviv, head of the RWC on the situation in the army. This is one of my areas. I wish you health, comrade readers. Everything is going well in the army. The soldiers are well fed, dressed, and shod. And my phone is going off. Wonderful. Let's see. I wish you health, comrade readers. Everything is going well in the army. The soldiers are well fed, dressed, and shod. They do not complain and are ready to take Moscow or Berlin or Washington, even now. In general, ready to take. Okay, I guess that's great. That's good. I'm just like, why do you want to take everything though? Okay. All right. Economist and columnist of the economic newspaper, Grigory Yablokov, the government's work in quasi-fiscal policy can only be commended. Day trending on the quotation of financial assets, currency swaps are more stable than ever. Alpari is impressive on the stock exchange. The population has maximum confidence in the monetary policy. Inflation targeting is at the proper level. In general, the market decided everything again, but again, I did not understand a word of the above. Okay. Representative of the Union of Unions, Elvira Gribshenka. Okay, I'm so sorry for these names. The Ministry of Social Policy can now consist of the most qualified and educated people. All right, we get it. You're happy with it. Dissident writer Elvar Dat on education reform. Let's fight back neo-Bolshevism. We see that reforms in the Republic are stalled. Cultural changes that are actively taking place in neighboring countries have not yet affected our country. It's all to blame for the total collapse of education, the planned destruction of culture, and severe underfunding. It is very difficult to say what the current Minister of Education will do with all these problems, so they're not happy about that. Economist Evgeny Shivik on the state of the infrastructure of the Republic. I believe that the current Ministry of Communications, Transport, and Infrastructure consists of people who know their business. These are the best specialists in the country. Okay, they're happy. Agrarian Peter Stolipov on the prospects for the development of agriculture. After years of the destructive policy of the Bolsheviks, the agriculture of the Republic is finally beginning to regain its position. They're happy. Entrepreneur Ishmashin Alesharov on the situation in the industry of the Republic. Everything is going according to plan. Unprofitable industrial enterprise are successfully closed. Okay, they're happy as well. All right, so now we have everything we need. We're now in power in this region. So now we have to try and see if we can encompass this power a little bit more. And by doing that, it will give us more support. I think certain regions give you more support in certain classes. I'm not sure, but that seems to be the case. Let's see here. So yeah, let me go ahead and do some charity work. And as you see, as we do our charity work, we gain a lot of support. A lot of support. All right. So I've used up all my funds, but we get 22 party funds a month. So yeah, and we have 16 administrative resources. I can use that, I think, for talk shows. Yes, I can use that for talk shows. And that also gives us a bit of a boost. And as you see, they do affect different things. So if I turn around and use the talk show, it gives me more towards the middle class. If I use charity, it does more as far as the lower class goes. I'm not actually sure what affects the higher class. The high class maybe using this, but I don't think it would. I think it would actually affect it negatively. But yeah, let's go ahead and use that talk show in order to get some more support. And this will help us later on in order to try and get some of these other areas because we're really going to need that support. Okay. So it's looking like we can possibly turn around and maybe get the eastern region, perhaps. And if we can make some headway, maybe we can get the capital as well. But I feel like you need at least 3 of these regions in order to try and boost up the particular areas that you're in. So that way you can eventually get a majority of the power where you can basically do whatever you want to in that particular case. So we seem to have lost a lot of support here in the western region, eastern region. So yeah, that's going to cause some problems. All right. The contradictions between the supporters of the independence of the unrecognized Republic of Transnistria, now de jure part of Moldova, and the central government of the country reached their zenith. On April 1st, 1992, the Moldovan police entered Bindari, accompanied by 2 BTR-70s, and tried to disarm the Transnistrian guards. The guards resisted, and the battle broke out. A bus with workers at the cotton mill was caught in crossfire. One of the women was killed, and several more civilians were injured. In addition, losses were suffered by the police and guards in the south of Transnistria. The bourgeois group of the Popular Front of the Moldova became more active, having committed several political killings of local Transnistrian leaders. Escalation of conflicts is inevitable. All right, give me just a second. All right, sorry about that. Had something in my eye. So, anywho, oh, great, we have an event. I think this is the leader of either the Russians or this is the leader of the what's it's called, the rebel army. Comrade Chelman, Chairman, you are the enemy of the working people. Because of you, we will not see the revolution for a century. However, you can make amends for the workers of the whole republic if you help us use the parliamentary platform for the revolutionary agitation. For a revolutionary agitation. We will expose this damned reactionary regime, death to the enemies of the working people. However, Comrade Chairman, we have other problems as well. The citizens of the Republic are waiting for the adoption of powers of authorities, which will improve the lives of ordinary workers in our country. However, if you insist so, then a small sum of money will not hurt us either and will go to kindle the fire of the world revolution. But if you refuse to help us now, then, during the revolution, you will not be... Hello? Okay. Sure. Let me see. Now, there's a lot of ways you can approach these. You can bring the law to Parliament. Now, one thing I don't like about this is that it doesn't actually tell you what the law is. It just tells you that it's going to be in that category. And of course, as you know, the categories have different things in it. But you can probably guess based off of whoever brings these things to you. And each group will do this. Now, I don't give two shits about them because they're part of the RAF and they're not my faction. So I don't really care. But if you don't give them what they want, they will turn around and kind of screw you up as far as support goes, and they will try and influence the different classes based off of what class they kind of correspond to. So in this case, it would probably hurt me as far as the lower class goes. So if you ignore them, that's what you're gonna get. Now you can bribe them for just 10 of your party resources, or you can turn around and try and use the unity of your party in order to kind of spin it around. So in this case, I can make an anti-capitalist speech in Parliament. That'll actually give me a boost. And of course, you can just bring the law to Parliament. So I'm going to try it this way. We hid in anticipation, Comrade Chairman. Okay. The bourgeoisie capitalist regime has outlived its usefulness. There can be no compromise. Sooner or later, the inevitable will happen and the workers of the whole country will rise up against their government. You may ask, why is this happening? The answer is simple. Anti-social policy of the state in relation to the broad masses. Social stratification, poverty on the one hand and luxury on the other. These are the modern realities of the Republic, said today the leader of the SRP during a parliamentary meeting. Right-wing media criticized the statement of the SRP. That did not help me at all. I think it did give me some support as far as the upper class goes. But I'm back to +1 with them, so that helps me a little bit. Okay, so the majority of this is going to be me just turning around and trying to keep my support high with the SRP, the party of traitors to the working people. Its leader only cares about power and money. He does not care about the needs of the citizens of the Republic. Long live the proletarian revolution. Workers of the whole Republic unite against the fascist SRP. This was the text of leaflets posted throughout the capital and on which the symbol of the rebel army, an organization banned in the Republic, was depicted. Some political scientists say the SRP and its leader can have big problems with these terrorists. So yeah, it didn't work out too well, but still. That's one way you can turn around and do things. Let's see. So yeah, we don't have any support over here. And again, I don't really know how I can turn around and do anything about that. But we do have a strong amount of support over here. And this will help because it'll give us more seats in Parliament. Or the Assembly. Alright, so I'll wait for a little bit to try and get some administrative resources up. And then I'll try and do what I can to turn around and get some support. So let's see. What organizations are we over? The Ministry of Defense. The operability is at 72.1. The corruption is at 17.3. And we have a perfect amount of budget. All right. There's a couple other ones we got too. Which one was it? All right. Ministry of Education, which was underfunded. Okay. Let's see. We invest a little bit. It's not going to do a whole lot, so I'll just leave it alone for right now. We need money. What can we do as far as this? Plenty of things to spend money. Not a lot to actually give money. Oh, okay. Free higher education. Okay. This Soviet Avatism should be abolished, and the market should be allowed to regulate the need for specialists and stuff. Okay, so I'm actually going to do this because that will give us 125, and that will put us closer to having a full budget. So, and this will give us 125 a month. So that's pretty nice. And that'll kind of offset the -5s we have here, but that's also to deal with corruption. Not sure how much of corruption that's going to do here. Also, the operability is going to go up, so that's going to help. And once we get enough money as far as the budget goes, then we can come back to this and start working on some of these things. All right, what else do we have? Because I thought we had one more. Ministry of Education. Socialists. Oh, I guess those were the only ones we had. I thought we had 3. Ministry of Education, Industry, Public Relations, Foreign, Business. Ah, okay. Yeah, I knew we had another one here somewhere. Okay, again, we need money. Now, if we start doing cuts, we can get 25 a month, which is going to take a long time, and we're going to get a nice bit of corruption too in the process. What else can we do? Using our power. Oh yeah, that just gives us influence, which gives us administrative resources, but nothing else. I'm going to go ahead and do the cuts for now. Oh, I can't. Oh, I need influence within the organ. Okay. Not sure how I actually get that yet. Okay, so we'll just wait on that for right now. All right. And also, let's see how our faction is doing. Oop, not here. CPR had problems. Cool for them. And our party is pissed. Let's see. We were the Union of Unions, right? Okay. So they're at 18.6 as far as the country impact goes. Let's try and promote. Oh, we can't promote anything. Administrative. Oh, because we don't have administrative resources. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. But our relations are at 100, so that's always good. I could use them to blackmail somebody. Also, does this count as an illegal action? I'm pretty sure it does. Comrade Chairman, I suppose the time has come to settle scores with your political opponents. We will have to allocate a certain amount of party resources to direct the people's anger against one of the 6 parliamentary parties. Our administration claims that it will be possible to keep... Oh, okay, this is for the protest that we did before the election. All right. So we want to try the communists this time around to see if that's the conservatives on this. It is. So I don't know why that's the case, but the communists are reversed. So there, that'll help us out a little bit. Help us gain some support, hopefully. All right, let's advance this a little bit. More mass rallies. Great. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to... Power outages. The editorial office of our newspaper received angry responses from citizens. Now, I think this is actually a bug. Supposedly, they did an update and the bug is no longer a thing, but I just got it, so... All right. Supreme Council of the People's Democratic Autonomy proclaimed the independence of the region from the Republic and announced the creation of the PDR, the People's Democratic Region. The separatist leader criticized the election held in the rest of the country. There can be no democracy where the right of nations to self-determination is not taken into account. What kind of democracy can we talk about when the authorities of the Republic do not care about the general growth of nationalism and chauvinist ideas? Moreover, they are actively supporting this and want to crush our young but proud country, but we will not surrender. Our ancestors liberated the Republic during the Great Patriotic War, and we will continue their work and finish off the newly minted fascists and bloodsuckers. Long live freedom, long live the PDR. As you know, in 1990, the small republic, where the ethnic majority are pro-Russian minded small Republicans, proclaimed the creation of the PDSSR, an equivalent Soviet republic within the Union. But Gorbachev, in order to not provoke the separatism in the republic itself, allowed only the creation of the autonomy within the republic. In the interval between the signing of the agreements and the election in the republic, the PDA's presence in the country was purely nominal. The local Supreme Soviet took full power and began a course towards the proclamation of independence, which, as we see, has happened. The loss of an economically important region where more than half of all the products of Republic's heavy industry were produced will clearly result in a strong blow to the entire national economy of the country. Okay, since we are supposed to be peaceful people, let's call for peace. Hopefully that'll help. All right, that did. The only right step towards achieving civil harmony among all the people of the Republic is to conduct peace negotiations with the government of the PDR, considering of consideration of all different points of view regarding the federalization of the Republic and the reform of the state language. This is how the leader of the SRP commented on the recent events related to the PDR. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic called for military suppression of separatism. Of course they did. Okay. All right, we got a little bit more administrative resources. So once again, let's go ahead and do some charity work. And let's get on some of these talk shows, get us some support. All right. I'm gonna do whatever I can in order to try and get support. And as you can see, it's starting to kind of turn our way. So yeah, you can turn on, if you click on this right here, you can go to the support map and it'll go ahead and change it. So where you can see the support as it changes. So as it's slowly starting to turn pink, we're starting to get some more support there. And it seems to be affecting some of the other regions too, because as you can see over here, we've gotten back into power a little bit. And we're kind of getting that throughout the region. But it's also based off of the support. We have a lot of support in the middle class, and we have support in the lower class as well. So that's helping us. Yeah, we even came in over here all of a sudden now. So, and it kind of ebbs and flows. Again, I don't really know what controls that, but it does ebb and flow, and it does help a little bit. So, all right. All right, the Ministry of Defense budget is slowly going up. I want to get a nice little budget, but I want to get the operability up to 75 and get a lot of money in there, so that way I can turn around and start working on certain things, because this stuff helps. This stuff helps a lot. You get a lot of money. You do get some corruption in the process, and you kind of lose some operability, but you get a lot of money. And again, money does help quite a bit. So let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and put corruption in. Well, if I do that, it's gonna affect the operability. So I'll go ahead and wait off on that. If the corruption gets to about 20 or so, then I'll go ahead and cut corruption on, so that way it'll decrease it. But for right now, I'll just leave it as it is. So yeah. We also need to start working with the statesmen so we can go ahead and do cuts, which can also help as far as the money situation goes. But right now we're doing okay as far as that goes. Ministry of Economics, it's not ours. Which one is ours? Education. Okay, and that's starting to go up. So that works. Works a lot. Eventually we could do reforms. Money in the ministry and its efficiency is above 25. I guess we can go ahead and do that, and then I'll go ahead and end the video here. I apologize because I spent so much time talking about issues and stuff and just kind of giving an overview of the game and things I learned. But this will be pretty much not a whole lot going on, but I'll go ahead and record another video right after this. So, reform. The modern Republican education system is a continuation of the Soviet one. After the 1984 reform and some changes in the 1988 through 1990, there were no significant changes as a result. Several points of views on the education reform have emerged. Some are proposing to adopt the European model of education, while others want to carry out a reform that will make education more narrowly specialized. Left-wing politicians demand saving the Soviet system, but making 11 grades compulsory in high school. Okay. I want to go the European. Oh God, 400. Let's postpone that for right now. Let's postpone that. Okay. Yeah, I forgot you need a lot of money to do that. And currently right now, if I turn around and do it, let's see. Yeah, if I do it, that would obliterate the budget. So Yeah, let's not do that for right now. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. Again, I apologize for talking so much and just trying to give an overview of the game. But I just want to kind of talk about the things I'm doing because I feel like a lot of times I'm going to just be doing stuff and I'm not going to actually be talking about what I'm actually doing. I'm just going to be doing it and the results are just going to happen. So, anywho, if you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. I have plenty of stuff on the channel, and I have plenty of stuff in the future that will be coming out on the channel. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the chat. I am not up 24 hours a day, but I do get these messages to my phone and I get them. And whenever I get them, I will respond to them at some point in time. It may not be right then and there, but I will see them, and I promise you I will respond. I respond to all comments unless it's just something that I really don't feel like I need to respond to, like hi or thank you or something like that. And even those I respond to. But still, you know, if there's anything you need to say, just go ahead and I will respond. So again, I thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. See you.